Um, so I'm just making a note about this because as I was talking to her and uploading the last video, I didn't want to tell her about it because she's only 8, but she hears me talk to my mother and, my daughter about gang stalking, about, them bothering me. I really try not to detail it too much because I don't want her to worry at such a young age. But however, if you do not talk about it, you know what I'm saying? If you don't talk about it, how will the babies know how to identify what's going on with them? Now that I've mentioned, this teacher, seemed like he gang stalking to me, but he's being watched. I'm watching him. Now, me talking about it and blogging about it, my granddaughter just mentioned to me that there's someone in her classroom who is a student, that keeps rolling her eyes at her. So Kylie, explain to me, just talk like you was just talking. You don't have to get on camera. I'm back. I just want you to talk and just say what you just said to me. What happened?
So there was this girl,
Don't have to talk loud. And what happened?
and she always be rolling her eyes at me. And today,
What's her name?
Kaylee Terrio,
Okay, and where does she sit?
and she sit like right in front of me.
In front of you, like her desk.
In like the classroom. So every time I was at recess, she would just.
This happened today. Now you at recess.
She was just following me all around with her eyes. Then she was taking all my friends. I was just playing with them.
When you say she was following you all around with her eyes, means she kept watching you and following you everywhere, watching you.
Yeah, like every time I was just walking past her, I was going to a different set on the playground. And she would just be like, so say you walking, and she would just be like,
okay, so stop. That's okay. So she just explained to me that this little girl rolls her eyes at her all the time in the classroom, and she follows her with her eyes everywhere she go on the playground. So which verifies to me that she's being watched. So now what happened today on the playground? You said what happened?
And also she kept taking all my friends. Like every time I was playing with my friends, and I had to play with these other people.
Wait a minute, let's back up. Remember when you just told me, I asked you what she's rolling her eyes at you. I said, how do you know? And you said because she just keep rolling her eyes around. And you asked her, what did you ask her to stop rolling her eyes at you?
Yeah.
And what did she say?
She said, well, you're not the boss of me and you can't tell me what to do. But I told her that I don't care what you do. I just don't like what you're doing to me. And she does it right in front of my face. So I don't like when you like roll your eyes in front of me.
Right. Okay. And then explain to me what happened on the playground today.
She was taking all my friends. Like every time I was trying to go anywhere, she would just keep taking all my friends, and I would just be walking around, and she would just follow me with her eyes.
So when you said take all your friends, is there only a certain two that you play with, or you play with everybody, or?
I play basically with everybody.
Okay, so
she'd be taking like half a majority of my friends.
So she calls everybody that you're playing with. Let's give a number, maybe like 5 girls.
Yeah, they'll be like, "Hey, come over here. Want to come play with us?" I'll be like, and then every time I'd be like, "Can I play?" And she just ignores me.
And then what happened when you told her? What did you say? You asked her to stop rolling her eyes at you, and what did she say? You're not the boss of me.
Yeah, you're not the boss of me. You can't tell me what to do. And I said, well, I don't care. You're doing it at me.
Right. Hold on. So this is what I'm saying. I just had to pause it for a second, but this is what I'm talking about. How if you don't explain it to your children and tell them about it, no matter how crazy they say you are, I don't care about the older people. I mean, I care about my mother, but if she don't listen, that's fine. But I care about the babies. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm not a paranoid person, but I know when you don't identify the problem and you don't speak about it, that is how they work in secrecy. You know what I'm saying? So she's only 8. She's just being a child, and this is why you as a parent or a grandparent gotta pay attention to the details. I don't want you on camera. You gotta pay attention to the details. Just like I showed you with the papers. Now I showed you that every paper was 100 except for this bull right here. You see what I'm saying? And the other thing that happened, when I come up to the school, remember the incident that he always asked. Now, this is the same teacher that I showed a card to. He's standing outside. I didn't even know he was a teacher. I show him the card. My mother come up there all the time for my baby. It's not that many black people up there. Why would you say, is it Kylie or Keely? You don't ask me this about 3-4 times already. Is that Kylie or Keely Jones? Like I mentioned before, I had a friend we was close. She got killed in the 90s. She did cross my mind not too long ago, but it's kind of funny that he would bring up her name and say, is her name Kylie or Keely Jones? And when it kind of could surprise me because I asked her, when I picked her up, I said, I said, Kylie, who is that? I said, who is that? She said, oh, that's Mrs. Stafford. That's my teacher. So it hit me like a ton of bricks that if this is your teacher, she said, that's my teacher for every subject. If this your teacher for every subject, you had this girl 5 days out of a week. It ain't that many Kylie Joneses in the school. Why would you feel the need to ask me, is it Kylie or Keely Jones when this is one of your students? Do you see these? These are the tiny details that I pay attention to. You see what I'm saying? So this is, I'm making a note of it because I'm sure this won't be the last, but you have to shine a light on incidents that happen, because if you let the little slide, then bigger things create and come about. So I'm blogging about it, and I'm sure this won't be the last.
Have a nice set. I only got 2 papers that I can.
So Ma, you say, why do we gotta be targeting me? Why does it have to be?
Why has to involve you? I don't get it.
Because she my granddaughter.
So I'm your mama. Your Raymond is your child.
And her car was just it was just stolen.
Cause you know what? You spew out
I didn't spew. Mom's
stuff.
talking about what happened after the fact. I'm sorry.
Okay, so it don't mean it got nothing to do with you though. It don't mean because you're talking.
They're related to me, and weird incidents keep happening. I don't want it to be mama.
But it don't mean that it's because they're talking to you. That don't mean that. Why that's gotta be part of your mind? You see what I'm saying?
It's a part of my life. It has become a part of my life.
But don't put every incident towards you. You know what I'm saying?
I don't want to. I don't want to, but I have to pay attention to what's going on to her. You know what I'm saying? Like
I totally understand when it comes to your child,
because
that's when you rectify with the teacher. You be like, that's when you go to the teacher or tell her mother.
At first I didn't even know that was an incident until I'm like, that just was weird. It wasn't nothing I would even want to bring up until I'm like, why do he keep saying is her name Kylie or Keely? And I'm like, Dad, my friend did get killed. Like, why would he say that name Keely? Why would he do that? Why? And then it made me mad that you have her 5 days a week. You don't know who she is.
Well, that's when I would have addressed him. But you didn't know that.
I didn't know that was her teacher until I asked her, who is that? Like, and then she was like, that's my teacher. And I'm like, huh? Why he don't know your name?
I've never had an incident with one of them people's assistants or whoever they are calling their name. Never had an incident with them asking, how do you pronounce this? I might have to lift the card up, in the window so that they'll see, how to pronounce her name. But I've never had an incident. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think what's wrong.
I'm listening.
I don't think that it's, you say it is, but I don't think that this little incidents like this is because of that.
And Gigi, guess what? I got an 85 on this, and I got a 92 on this, but I missed 3 questions on this.